feel it? Do you feel it? If you can't feel it, then you won't feel it. We must feel. We'll take a moment right now to feel. Can you feel your toes? Okay, let's back it up. Let's take a deep breath. And hold like a joint. And exhale, and you can feel. We're in a ball spinning quickly through the galaxy, through the universe. 20, 30 miles an hour. It's way too fast. I just want to bring you all in on this right now to feel. We will feel, a little lavender will feel. Smell the lavender, feel the lavender. See the lavender, be the lavender. This is a little lavender. All right. Now we'll come back down to earth, yes. Welcome to the show. Hi, Kevin Zucker. All right, man. You're getting pretty good at the time.
Shapiro, how are you?
Hey, man, did you feel that? That was wild.
You know what's amazing is you meditated for all of, 26 seconds.
Dude, it was brutal.
Leaving.
I actually did 15 minutes today, man, in the chair in my bedroom that my wife and I have sex on sometimes, which is also confusing. But I did do a 15-minute meditation. The sun was kind of coming in, hitting, the chickens were standing by the door and the dogs jumped up on me. And I think I did it because I didn't sleep last night. Did you sleep well last night, Kevin Zucker?
I went last night because I was invited by a friend of ours to go see that show called Absinthe over at Caesar's Palace.
Oh, you haven't seen that?
I'd never seen Absinthe before. And man, I was
so cool.
Blown away.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to Spiegel World and the producers of Absinthe right now. Congratulations. Kudos on a great show. I could have done without the guy in the bathtub shit that I had to put plastic all over my face for because I got soaking wet. But listen, at the end of the day, it was great. So
what about sleeping?
I slept like a baby.
Do you think it was because of the guy in the bathtub spraying stuff all over you?
No, I took a nap earlier in the day. I'm at this point in time in life where the nap is really almost an important part of the day. And
when I first started dating Jolie and we started to live together, she was in shows at night. And I was in the great World's Greatest Rock Show, but our schedules were perfect, and we took a nap every day at 2 p.m. and it was blissful, about an hour, maybe 90 minutes. It was so wonderful, and I don't know if it's an age thing.
Europeans have it figured out. They call it siesta. Yeah. That's Spanish for nap.
You're so well-rounded and worldly. You slept well last night. I pulled a Zucker last night, and I actually got into bed at about 8:30, which is early, and I watched a little. Hey, Patrick and Anita. Hi, you guys.
Patrick and Anita are here watching live. Hi, guys.
I watched a little TV, and then Jolie fell asleep, and then about 9:15, Melvin does that, and I'm like. So I get out of bed, get some clothes on, go outside. He's got the squirts, man. And so we get it all out, and I go back to bed about 10:45 by the door. Again at 11:30. Again at 1:15. At 3 a.m, and then at 4 I just went out on the couch with Melvin and just waited for another round of it. By 5 a.m, 5:30 or so, I went back into the bedroom, and then Jolie woke me up at 8 o'clock. So I feel like one of your nights, man. Is that how you roll?
Do you ever think about maybe like when the dog gets into its diarrhea mode, putting the dog in an area that you can just not have her in your room so you don't have to disrupt your sleep? Like I'll put him in the laundry room so he just kind of chills out. And
it's a he, and our dogs are spoiled. They bark. You separate the doggy pile we go to sleep in. We're just so connected. But yeah, I mean, I think she put him in the crate at some point this morning. Maybe after I'd fallen, gotten back into bed, she might have got up. I don't know. I haven't seen my wife. We went to therapy, but I haven't seen her.
You have a good session today? How does it wind up that you have therapy on days that we do the podcast? Is that
because it's Tuesdays? Yeah, because we do a podcast every Tuesday, and I go to therapy with Joe every Tuesday.
Did you have a good session today?
It was good. Yeah, it was really good. But I'm like a little manic today, right? So I feel like I smoked crack last night. By the way, before we came on the air today, you were standing up. I think you were lighting those candles that are illuminating your beautiful wife, Erin, and you were kind of scratching your lower region. And I want you to know that for Christmas, my in-laws got me this right here. It's comfort cream.
No, it's comfort.
Yeah. and I'd like to maybe consider this as a sponsor for you, for the show, for Docksiders, for Little Lavender, for anything you do, for your artists that you're managing, right? You can probably get to deal for them too. Well, Christine, oh, are they both women?
Yeah, I manage just women right now.
Yeah, that's right. That's
So,
right.
listen, have you used that stuff?
No, my balls are great.
No, just wondering.
Yeah, no, man, I get sweaty
it's
balls
true.
sometimes, but the sweaty balls doesn't turn into itchy balls, right? But I think a lot of men out there, apparently, if they're making this is a sweat protection. Oh, maybe it is good for me. Unbelievably fresh. Sweat protection.
Why are we flashing product without being endorsed by these people?
Hold on a second, because it's a good product. We're sharing. We're doing a review on a product that neither of us have tried.
Used it. You haven't reviewed it yet.
Hold on a minute. Let me ask you what this is.
This is bullshit, man.
I got a question for you.
You're lying to our audience.
Hey, crazies. Tasha, what's up, baby? I love her. Speaking of crazy. Colin, yeah, okay. So, but let me just say one thing, a couple things here. Sweat protection, odor neutralizing. I don't have that issue either. Anti-bat wing. What the fuck is that?
Every time I'm around you, all I smell is Gouda cheese. It's got to be you.
What's okay? It's my Gouda. What is anti-batwing? Does that mean that your balls stick to your legs?
What is batwing?
I imagine.
We got a bunch of people listening live right now.
Yeah.
If somebody could educate Michael and I what batwing is in reference to
anti-batwing.
Anti-batwing. Like what does it mean? Does Patrick or
this is what we're talking about, everybody. So let us know.
Patrick said he's seen that product out there and it is actually selling well.
Interesting review there, Patrick. But you haven't purchased or tried it, and neither have I. It was a gift. I think it was the gag gift in my stocking. Or my wife is trying to tell me something. So, or my mother-in-law might be trying to tell me something, which is
Hey, can I show you something, Max?
Yeah.
Max made a picture of me today, and he wanted me to share this on the podcast today. This is our 10-year-old son, Max, and he said, "Dad, can you please show your audience the picture I made of you?"
He's getting good, man.
I love how at 10 he thinks my neck isn't as thick as it is.
Yeah, this is how he sees you, though, and I
love it
in the eyes of the child. Yeah, Max is
so beautiful. Thanks,
dude. He's getting good now that we're showing artwork. We haven't painted on the show since a long time ago, but I'm getting into sculpting. And check this out. Let me see if I can get the light on this right. It's too bright, but look at the detail.
I get it.
Oh yeah, look at the detail.
I get it. Okay. Look. We got some funny people following the show. Patrick says Gouda is the #1 cheese in Wisconsin. Kevin, LOL, and Greg says Suker knows his cheese.
His ball cheese.
Wow.
Oh, wait a minute. Hey guys. I don't know anything about ball cheese, right? Because
ladies and gentlemen, direct from America's Got Talent, our friend Murray Sawchuk. What's up, Mur?
It's good to be here. Good to be here. You came to my show the other day, and I appreciate that. Michael, I don't know where you were. Go fuck yourself. But check it out. So I got my show going again. I put some comedy in it, and I want everybody to come see me at the. Wait a minute. What did your wife saying down there? Max said when your
son says it's when your testicles get in your thigh.
Yeah, I got bat wings. I can make your bat wings disappear, and you don't need any ball cream to do it. Just come to the show, and I'll make your bat wings disappear. All right, Murray Sawchuk out. You guys are great. I love you. Okay, bye. It was brief, right? Brief little visit by that.
We have a show today, man. We've got a lot of stuff today that we're going to talk.
We do.
Today's topic of the show is self-importance and the importance of self-promoting artistry as an artist. And our guest today is absolutely fantastic. I'm super excited that my friend Dave Audé is joining us on.
You said he was a prick. Are you really now? You're going to build him up. You're going to create some self-importance, and you're going to do some brown nosing and artist petting and all that bullshit. That's what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is, can't you just be real and achieve great heights of whatever the goal is? If it's stardom or
I'm being real, but if we're going to fuck with each other like that, then
I know you didn't say that about Dave,
my friend. I have a ninja in the room with me.
What's on? Oh, okay. And the award goes to
from as to Mr. Kevin, and apparently I need to open this.
Show your face. Show your face, I say. Show your face.
He said,
show your face. Take your hood down. Show your hair. What do you do?
Michael and Kevin's A Little Lavender.
Man, dude, you got to do the graphics for us, bro. How much do you cost? Look at that's great, dude. I like me. Let me see me. Speaking of me, let me check out me a little bit more. That's you. That's me, right? No, is that me?
Yeah, it's you.
I love that, man.
That's you in your new glasses. Hey, let's hear it for my my podcast partner. I mean, I have to be honest with you. It really takes an awful lot of guts to show up like Elliot Gould, and
Yeah,
I
man.
really think you look great. I loved you in Ocean's 11 and Ocean's 12, but those glasses, this new look is awesome for you.
Listen, they're just reading glasses, and I got a few different pairs, and they're fun, and I feel like Elton John, and they're great. Listen, self-importance, right?
That's what we're talking about today with our guest. Yep. And the importance of self-promoting and how that ties into each other.
For me, it's more of like, so it's a bit of a turn off for me. It's become, I naively lacking awareness and lacking any thought process around it for 35, 40 years playing music. I have just been a self-promoter. The service business that I owned along the way, it's self-promote. You gotta market yourself. My issue really is the artistry to me is meditative. We talked about this earlier. You said that you don't feel meditative in it, and I wanted to point something out. When you're in the groove and you're recording something and you're looking for melodies and you got a lyric down and you're laying down tracks, you're engineering, you're doing everything. You're not really most people that do this, they're not thinking about other things. They're in the moment of the music that they're creating. That is, in a sense, a successful meditation. That's what I love about when I sit down at the piano for no outcome and I just play and I get lost in the sound of it. You're telling me that you don't have that experience when you're working on music. You're thinking about the yard needs to be mowed and tomorrow and yesterday. You're doing all that stuff, or you're in the moment.
Well, maybe that's why I haven't been as successful as you.
That's funny. That's good. Exactly. And I wanted to talk to you about that.
I understand now where you're coming from. Like, so
okay. Can you relate to that?
What I can relate to
Don't fucking point at me, Kevin.
Listen, I'm going to come over there and smack you in a minute.
Bring it on.
Listen.
Hurry up. We got to get to our guest.
The idea that the music can take me away from everything else is the meditative part, right? I was interpreting what you were saying very differently. I was thinking like, I have to put myself in a place to be creative meditatively, then the creativity.
Yeah, no. The actual,
so. Yeah, yes, absolutely. Okay. It's trance-like, right? We can agree that.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Lost in the art,
right?
The creation of the art.
That's what I'm talking about, being meditative. Now, the business requires the self-importance part of it is, we're out promoting ourselves. Now, when you get to certain levels, you have teams that do that, and that's great. And I've had teams working for me and all that, but I still was very much, I looked for an opportunity to slide in that I'm a singer or songwriter. I'm always looking for opportunities and out doing that and networking, blah, blah, blah. It took some of the magic out for me, and it continued to. I thought, oh my God, if I could just be on a big billboard on the strip and everybody know who I was, that's going to fill that thing. And that's self-importance. And we can easily, when I'm not at work, take that self-importance into my friendships and into conversations with people that don't give a shit, because that nobody cares ultimately. People care about themselves, right? The fact that you're texting right now is very hurtful. So listen.
Yeah, our guest is asking me a question. I'm actually.
He's like, is this fucking guy going to keep talking? And maybe I can.
He literally just said in the text message, "Would you tell this fucker to shut his mouth?" He's busy. He does things for a living, and he's an important person. So without further ado, let's bring him into this conversation. I think it's important, right?
Before you do though, before he comes on, he can have this because he can suck my balls. How about that? You like that? Because I'm using Happy Nuts. All right.
Here we go. So listen, Dave Audé is with over 2 decades at the forefront of modern music. Dave Audé's prowess as a producer and DJ is legendary, fueled by a passion for pushing boundaries and creating unforgettable emotional experience. Listen to this. In a career spanning more than 25 years, Dave Audé has not just made music, he's sculpted sonic landscapes that have become the heartbeat of countless legendary tracks. From the iconic sounds of Lady Gaga and Rihanna to the infectious rhythms of Bruno Mars, Katy Perry, Madonna, U2, Beyoncé, Sting, Coldplay, Bastille, Ariana Grande. I could keep reading this. Erasure, Jennifer Lopez, Selena Gomez, LeAnn Rimes. It is our pleasure today. There's much more. You'll find more. We'll post this on our little Lavender page so you can learn a little bit more about Dave. But here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the world famous Mr. Dave Audé. How are you, my man?
I'm good. Can you hear me good?
Woo, smoking hot.
Is he talking? Can you hear him?
I can hear him. Yeah, that's
phone's blazing. Oh my gosh.
Hi, Dave.
What's going on? I can turn that down if you want.
Yeah, just a smidge, maybe. Maybe it's balanced.
I think it sounds balanced. Maybe it was just
you know, it could be just I like talking loud. Maybe that's what it is.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
What's cool about this podcast is that we don't typically look who just said now that's an intro. Our friend Froggy. He's an avid viewer and watcher of the show. He's been on the program before, and he actually sent me a text last night saying that he was bummed he was not able to join in the conversation.
There he is, though. He's here.
There he is. He's watching.
Do you know him, Dave?
He's who introduced us.
Oh, you're kidding! I didn't know that backstory. That's great.
Absolutely.
Bring him on. Let's take up some of your time with
Froggy, send me a text message if you got time to join us. I'll send you the link. Dave. We typically don't tell guests what our topic might be. We kind of just throw you into the fire. You're an artist. You're a creator. You're an artistic soul. All of those things. How do you feel about what you've heard us loosely talking about? The topic is meditative self-promotion, self-worth. Is that what, am I paraphrasing it?
I'm just, Dave, it's about self-importance, and we go around and, we're promoting what we're doing at some point, and self-importance can be a turnoff. You run into a lot of narcissism in this business, and you as an artist and working in the field, I mean, how do you draw the line? Are you out promoting yourself all the time, or can you really have a conversation with friends and not even bring up music and talk about what's real in life? And I feel that balance thing. Self-importance is turning me off a little bit within myself and with other people, and that's what brought this conversation up.
Well, I'm a Libra, so I am trying to balance all the time, whatever that means. And unfortunately or fortunately, however you look at it, we live in a world where in music or entertainment, you have to promote yourself. I was just thinking earlier today how I think I was doing more. I still do a lot of stuff. I work about 16 hours a day in the studio. But before I had kids, I was pumping out probably 5 songs a week, which is a lot. But I didn't have kids. There was no online Instagram. I couldn't watch movies, Amazon or Netflix on my computer. I wasn't searching, Facebook or MySpace or Friendster or, all these things. I was probably just doing music, and I was also a lot younger. So I think I had a lot more juice. And, but unfortunately today we have to promote ourselves to feel like we're competing with other people that are doing, the same thing that we're doing. It doesn't matter what field it is.
Does it take some of the love of it out?
You have to promote. It does take some of the love of it. So what I've done is I found a kid to sort of do that for me. And I give him a little bit of money every month to sort of do all my socials, most of my social stuff. Obviously it comes from me. I tell him what to say, but go do this. We're going to post this today, post this tomorrow, post this Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Here, we're going to service this song. We're going to, blah, blah, blah. But I let him sort of talk about me. And that helps me a little bit so I don't have to feel like I'm just constantly having to talk about myself.
Well, and Kevin's had deals, and I've had record deals, and I had publicists, and along the lines, and it's certainly much easier. But I found myself still in conversation, reminding myself to ask questions about you, Dave, rather than me promoting what I have going on. Like if we meet at a dinner party, and I have to put effort into that, and I think that I just feel a little dirty about it. I don't want to promote. I don't want to fish for a compliment. I want it just to be organic. I want it is better when you have a team doing that. There's no question. But I still get wrapped up in me. And I think all the social media and all the platforms and everything that everybody's doing, it promotes that. We're promoting narcissism. We're all narcissists, the behavior. And that seems to be a battle for me. So how do you balance the self-importance? You turn it off when you're with your kids and your wife and I assume you're married.
No, it's probably about me all the time. I mean, I just, it's hard to turn something like that off. I mean, after a few days, if I'm not in the chair, I definitely, for a day or two, which is rare, I definitely feel like more connected to my kids. When I'm going to watch sports, or if we go visit for Thanksgiving, we drove to Oklahoma. That was kind of cool. I felt myself not even on my phone. I was just sort of like talking to family members that I haven't talked to in a while, that's the best part of life, and I try every morning to go online because we all live online, but I try every morning to go say nice things to people, truly nice things. Like,
you mean it?
I might see somebody's post or about something, but I try to like comment nothing about my new single that came out or my remix that came out, but about like something about that's going on in their life. Like, that's pretty awesome. That looks like that's fun, or I can't wait to listen to that new song, or, it's so cool to see that you're just had a kid, or, you're a dad, or whatever it is, and that's an important thing just to, and it shouldn't be forced, right? It should be genuine stuff, but it's important to say positive things to other people.
Yeah, not flattery. You're not flattery.
Not flattery, but just engaging in their life, so they feel like they're just not talking to nobody when they're posting all their pictures on Instagram or Facebook. I mean.
Yeah, and I've kind of gotten away from all that for that reason.
Steven Linebarger says Dave Audé does a great job of making everybody feel seen / important. That's a really great testament to you, Dave. I think we are also in a unique generation. We're all relatively the same age. Our parents' generation had no electronics the way that we were forced into the change. Our children,
it's all they have
differently, and they will only know one way, and they will, in my opinion, they'll hopefully find a way to adapt the electronics into their everyday where it doesn't take over everything. Now, that could be argued about my 24-year-old and my 10-year-old that live on their phones all day long, but the reality is, like, we
lost you there.
Is he back? He's not back.
No, he's not. I don't know. We lost you, Kevin.
Your audio just cut out. Nope. Audio's out.
Something popped. Yeah.
You got to change the battery.
in your brain. Yeah. How old are your kids, Dave?
My kids are 14, 13, and 9.
Oh, full boat. It's coming back.
I got the perfect setup, 2 boys and a girl. Still can't hear you, Kev.
Nothing.
Yeah, there it is.
It's low though.
Yeah, I had a FaceTime call come in, and it took over apparently my audio. This is the technology we're talking about.
Yeah, we can't. The three of us just can't even be here right now. But thank God for technology, because we're able to do it this way, right?
Correct.
I mean, I tried to send the plane for Dave, and he's like, I appreciate the private plane, but I can't.
The point that I was making that I didn't land my plane with was that we have this unique generation of having the technology at a different point in our lives at this age, and I think it forces me. And Michael, you're going to laugh at this because obviously we spend a lot of time together. It forces me to make conscious choices when to be on it and when not to be on it, right? Like, my parents could care less. Like, they're on it to stay in touch with their kids, basically.
I'm falling more into that. I'm falling for a while now, Dave. I have we did a kind of a final show back in October. The final show, I want to produce everything and do all the work. But at that point, I was able to, like, you know what? I'm going to get up in the morning. I'm not going to touch my phone or the computer for a couple hours in the morning. I'm not going to jump on, and I leave the phone in the office, and that has changed my mornings and my centeredness. But I'm becoming more aware of other people doing it, and then I fall into judgment and intolerance, and I'm working on that balance now. But it has fundamentally changed me to where I can be right here with you right now. And Kevin, you do this a lot. You can be right there right now, but you know, he used to wear an Apple Watch. Do you wear an Apple Watch, Dave?
I do, and you know, the worst thing about the Apple Watch, I love it, but it's also, if I could be talking to somebody, and then somebody messages me, and I look at my watch, and it looks rude, like I'm Like, what time is it? How much longer are we going to be talking or something, So
I'm very sensitive to that, so please don't do that while I'm speaking. So.
Yeah, Michael and I will walk together certain mornings, and if I pull out my phone because my phone buzzed in my pocket, he'd be like, "Dude, center with me right here. We're walking for 45 minutes.
It's an opportunity to get out of that. And most of the 99% of the stuff, it can wait. And it's shown me that it can wait. And I was so tired of chasing that and worried about it all. I mean, he came over for a walk the other day, Dave, and the mailman drove by and he ran after him to tell him about his headline residency show at the Venetian. And I'm like, dude, turn it. I'm exaggerating.
Did he really?
No, he didn't do that. Not yet. He's working his way up to that.
That would be pretty awesome if he did that. I would be like, wow, you win.
But being a great promoter is important. I mean, so you work for the Grammys, right? You're involved in the Grammys? I don't work
for the Grammys. I'm a governor for the Grammys. So
what does that mean exactly?
Part of the organization. I meet once a month. I actually have a meeting tomorrow morning at 8:30. Drive once a month and get with a bunch of people that are sort of governors in Nashville. A lot of people that have been in the industry a while and heads of labels and managers and blah blah blah, and we just sort of talk about how we can help the music industry and also Grammy stuff, which is how to make the Grammys better, because there's a lot of problems with Grammys, as there are with everything in life.
Sure.
Whether it's politics or we don't have enough of this type of person in there, and so that's a lot of that. And I've been involved ever since I gotten up my first nomination. I woke up to what the Grammys were. I didn't even know what the Grammys really were until I got my first nomination in 2010.
Have you won one? Have you won a Grammy or nominated?
Right there, Uptown Funk, right there.
That looks like a bottle of booze up there. I can't tell.
Right below the bottle of booze.
In the case. Okay,
in the case, so nobody can touch it.
So Uptown Funk, when the nomination came through, did you campaign? Did you go out and work it, or did you have a team that was working it for you?
Great question. And fortunately, the answer is hell no.
You did not have to campaign, or it did it. So it is.
Let me tell you a little secret. It was the biggest song of that year.
I was just gonna say, when you
did I have to campaign?
No, not at all.
So some songs. Saying,
I got
don't
lucky.
Need it. Yeah. So there's a lot of nominations.
Very lucky.
Nominations.
Very lucky. I've done 1,700 remixes between 1994 and today. And
wow.
In the year 2014, Uptown Funk had been out 15 weeks. And RCA called me and said, "Hey, we need another remix of Uptown Funk." And I'm like, okay, well, what's the deal? Well, we're trying to get 18 weeks at number one, because that's the record for the most number ones weeks at number one. I think Boyz II Men and Mariah Carey had it at the time. And so I did a remix in about 4 days. They shot it out to radio, because a lot of my stuff is full vocal, and a lot of radio, rhythmic radio and mix show and stuff play my remixes. So the radio people at RCA knew they could get a little more juice out of my remix. So I think it got to 17 weeks, and what they didn't know is the Charlie Puth song from Fast and Furious, singing about the guy who died or whatever, it came out and went right to number one. So my remix helped for a few weeks, but they didn't blame me. They were just, you can't do anything when a song like that comes out. It's just massive, massive, massive song. But that was a really great thing for me, because I got to remix Uptown Funk, and out of all the other remixes, mine was the one that got nominated for a Grammy. So
that's an amazing accomplishment and a bad example. So do you have other noms that you felt that you did do some campaigning for? I don't know what.
No. You've never had to do that. People go online and find out I'm a Grammy member, or I'm not a Grammy member, a governor. You can go online. Anybody can go online onto nearest the Recording Academy website, and you can see who the governors are and trustees are in every city, which is only about, if you put them all together, it's probably about 150. So you can see that, those 150 people are members. So you can actually campaign those 150 people, which I get emails every day from people, or mostly Instagram messages. Hey, for your consideration, here's my song in some category, blah, 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 which I hate, by the way. Yeah. I mean, there's two sides to look at that. There's one, okay, I didn't know about this song. Thanks for bringing it to my attention, and I can listen to it. And if I like it, then if it's changed my life, I'll vote for it. You can look at it that way, or you can look at it like, man, I think it should be an organic thing,
Mhm.
and people should be voting for records that they are familiar with or have listened to. If I vote for an album, I'm not voting for an album just because I like the artist. It's hopefully an album that I've actually listened to, which, by the way, is an issue because we have 15,000 Grammy members, and people are voting. They're not listening to the stuff they're voting for, because the reality is, even in the album category, best album categories, there's 5 albums, and the reality is people don't listen to albums. They don't.
Yeah,
it's just the world we live in. So
single world.
It's really, when it gets down to the final 5, it's really a popularity contest. To come full circle here in this conversation, Uptown Funk made the final 5, and what's gonna beat Uptown Funk? It's not the greatest remix I've done. It's a pretty good remix, I'm gonna say. Not the greatest remix, but
it's funny.
But it's Uptown Funk. You know what I'm saying? It's like it won record of the year, it won song of the year, and then it won best remix recording of the year. So
well, let me ask you this. So if I got a song and I send you a bag of blow and 2 hookers, would that get you to listen to it? Is it like, what does it take? The old days were great. You could do that.
No, I do get boxes in the mail.
Wow.
From Billie Eilish and from Taylor Swift, and the top echelon artists are sending out boxes of shirts and vinyl and fun stuff.
That's
my
campaigning.
wife got. They are campaigning.
Yeah,
or
right.
I shouldn't say they are. I should say their labels are, right?
It's not team.
Yep.
It's their team. They want to win it. It's a good thing to win a Grammy, and it makes the label keep their job. It's like keep their day job. It's like, okay, we did this for you. We campaigned. We helped you get this. Even though the artist probably doesn't think that. The artist probably thinks, oh, I'm awesome and I won a Grammy. You should be thanking me. But this is the world we live in. People promoting themselves to win Grammys.
Yeah, I got to win mine without promoting it. I got to hold one once. Charlie Colleen let me hold his Grammy.
Listen, I'm gonna chime in, but I've been part of something that's been nominated multiple times, and I've gone through those years, and it's hard to sit in the back of the room, and it's exciting when your category comes up, and then they don't read the project that you're a part of, and you realize, like, wow, you try really hard to do your best work, right? That's all I ever did, was tried very hard to be the best I could be and learn in ways where I didn't have access to YouTube and videos to teach me things. It was listening and hearing other records that I loved more than anything in the world, and tried to reverse engineer how certain records wound up sounding the way they sounded. And when they don't call your name and you finally get to the table,
it's a bummer. It's a big bummer.
It was hard.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch Golden Globes on Sunday? Did you watch that? Did you watch that, Dave? Well, Demi Moore, it's been on the news, but her speech was very moving, and she was talking about how we measure ourselves, and somebody said you're never going to be enough unless you put down the measuring stick. And that's what brings me back to the self-importance piece as a hindrance to doing music for the love of music, working on projects and working with people and working with artists that you love to be around, that lift you up. That's the focus for me, instead of an outcome. I got wrapped up when I started as a kid. It was about the joy of it. Then I got some success, and it became about the management and the outcome, and look at me, and trying to get and comparing myself to people that have what I didn't have. And that's a fucking bummer. So we have a special guest that just walked in. She just ran
my
out.
wife. It's okay. She's coming down to check on me.
Bring her back.
Let's bring her to the condo.
Trust me, she does not want to be online. That's not my wife. My wife likes to be behind the scene.
So as a Libra, finding that focus and staying in that with you obviously have great success. Kevin is having tremendous success right now with it, and
yes,
and having some balance around.
Congratulations, Kev.
Thanks, Dave. It means the world coming from you. And to you, Mike. Thank you for
anybody having success doing something they love, and I truly do love what I do. That's a win. I mean, can you imagine?
Yeah.
I never imagined in a million years when I was a kid listening to. So I had divorced parents. My parents got married 4 times each. A lot of divorce, a lot of fighting, a lot of bad stuff, which was like a thing, I think, for some reason when I was a kid. But I mean, I used to have my radio right here, and I'd listen to Rick Dees.
Yeah.
Which is he was the Rick Dees in the morning, and Rick Dees has become a friend of mine. And I just redid Disco Duck for Rick, which was a full circle moment for me. Like last year I did it. He's going to put it out this year. And then I also just, as Kevin knows, I just wrote and produced an album for my favorite singer of all time as a kid, a band called Erasure, the lead singer, Andy Bell. So yeah. I'm just saying this because I don't know how this has happened. I'm having these full circle moments.
Because you're good. You're good at what you do.
I don't know what, I think it's also, I put it out there, and I've put a lot of thought into music. And when I was a kid dreaming about, by the way, when I was listening to Rick Dees as a 10-year-old, I had no idea what a producer was or what a DJ was or what an engineer was. I just knew all I knew was I loved music. That's it. Yeah, that's it. One thing. I loved music. That's it.
Did you know from day one that that's what you wanted to do?
I did, but I didn't know how I was going to do it. When I was 13, I got a Walkman. That changed my life, as everybody else that got a Walkman did. And also, I for some reason, my mom had a boyfriend with a great stereo system, and I was crazy enough. I was making tapes of me announcing, song like a radio announcer.
I did that too as a kid. We pretended to be a DJ.
You hit pause on the tape. Yeah. You hit record, announce the song, put the needle on, play the song. So I was doing this stuff as a kid, not even knowing that's what I was going to be doing as an adult. And I just, man, I don't know. I guess I manifested it because I just really, that was my escape from my family stuff as a kid was listening to music.
That's part of the beauty of the naivety as a kid with a dream. We're not thinking about how to do it, and we're just doing it, and it's so stimulating, and it captivates us, and here we are, right? And here you end up becoming. Go ahead, Kevin.
Dave, really quick question, and a very tough one, and we try to ask people tough and quick questions. What is your favorite pop song of all time?
Right now.
Too long. He took too long to answer. Just, I don't think Dave's aware that we hang up on all the people we love. It is a Lavender endearment, and
it's a term of endearment from the Lavender hosts. You get booted from the conversation when the time is up. What an incredible guest! What a great story! And
you're so lucky. You have really amazing friends, man. It's so great. It's so great.
So great. Right? He's so talented, and I'm not just saying that because I've worked with him, but
I don't think he's going to talk to you anymore after that hang up. I think he wanted to answer that question. I wanted to know the answer to that question, actually.
I'll ask him, and then we'll see if anybody wants to learn, right?
Yeah. What's Steven's question? We pull that up because I can't see it small. Yeah.
Steven's question is, isn't it the promotion piece really more about bringing awareness to the art than it is about bringing the focus onto yourself?
Yeah.
100%, Steven.
This is a great, to think of it that way.
That is, maybe that helps you. Maybe that can help you get around your stuff that you're going through.
It feels like me, right? So that issue that I have, and plus it's like, I want to be part of the tribe, and like, hey, look, here's my accomplishments so I can fit in and feel important. That's my own insecurity, my own bullshit. Going the way he framed that question, absolutely, but that's the slippery slope, because it is a necessary evil. If I say it's just it's a necessity to do that. How does one do that and not start believing the story we're saying and creating or manifestation is another way to look at it too. Fake it till you make it kind of a thing. But me about authenticity, man. I want to be authentic, so no matter what situation, circumstance I'm in, I'm okay. And it just feels a little make-believe, smoke and mirrors, and it kind of turned me off. I need to get back to where I'm going back to just writing and recording and doing music.
I think it's a wonderful place for you. I really do. I remember there was a period in time where I was going through some really personal shit in my life, and
yesterday.
I mean,
a while ago.
I got divorced a while ago.
Yeah. And you put it on the sideline during that period.
My entire creative process stopped. I didn't have the bandwidth to deal with all the personal stuff, and then to also figure out how to emote, but
Yeah.
I knew that I was building up, information and creative things to write about. I just didn't know when it was going to come.
I write in the pain.
And but see, that's beautiful. I would love to learn how to do that.
Oh
Because
man, that's
I tend to close down a little bit, right? And I internalize it more than use it as
the time.
process to externalize. Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, I don't write when everything's going great, and my life is so good right now. I'm like, I have to pull stuff out. I need to be in pain to really write deep stuff.
You should write a song about how nice and smooth your balls feel now that you're using all that cream.